Hi, my name is Angela Rose, and today I'm going to teach you how to install Shiplap paneling. Now, what is shiplap? I'm sure you know what it is, but if you don't, it's basically a wall or ceiling treatment. It's also called paneling, planking. It can be used vertically, horizontally, on the lower third of a room, on a ceiling, anywhere. It's never going to go out of style because there are so many different uses for it. So shiplap is different than typical boards because it comes with these little grooves to make these pre-spaced gaps, giving it a super cool look. How cool is that? Fun fact, shiplap actually got its name from shipbuilding when they were used to create watertight boards together. So my favorite type of shiplap to use and the easiest to work with is MDF, nickel gap, pre-spaced shiplap boards. I like to get these from 84 Lumber. They come in a couple different widths, a bunch of different lengths. It's really easy to work with them. I just message them what I want. They ship it to my house. And with all the different types of materials that you can use, you can get a ton of different looks. And this skill is going to be so applicable for every project that you're doing. So here are the tools and materials that you're going to need for this project. My preference is using nails around 1.5 inches or 1 3/4. That way it goes into your board, in through the drywall, and then still has room to go into the stud. Okay, now safety. You're gonna wanna protect your eyes. I know, you're jealous at how cool I look. Tie your hair back, make sure you've got closed-toe shoes because you gotta protect those toes. And just make sure you're never pointing this at anybody. Always assume that it's fully loaded and ready. So your first step when installing shiplap, first you gotta come up with a plan and visualize what it is that you want. Once you know what it is that you want, you're gonna mark the studs. This is my favorite stud finder to use, and you're gonna mark them. Marking those studs is gonna make it so that as you're nailing, you're gonna make sure to hit it into those. That way, it's making this wall treatment the most secure possible. Now that your studs are measured and marked, you're going to measure the length for the board that you need, and you're gonna cut it. When you're installing your first board, this is important, pay attention. Everything is always based off that first board. You're gonna wanna make sure that it is level. So hold a level up to that board and make sure it's completely straight up and down, or it's completely level like this. If you mess this up, everything is messed up after it. You're screwed. No, but for real, check level. And I like to, every few boards that I go, check the level again just to make sure things aren't starting to get a little bit wonky. You can always straighten it back up. So here are some nailing tips. The first thing is, the more nails you put in the board, the more nail holes you have to fill, okay? I like to nail on the face, and then I also like to nail into the lip because that's gonna be hidden, and so it kind of cuts down the amount of filling that I'm gonna have to do afterwards. Another tip is make sure you hit the studs. You've marked them, you know where they are. Hitting the stud is gonna keep your board super secure. Don't fret if you're hitting drywall. Give that board a test, and if it's sliding in and out, here's a tip to lock it into place. I like to take my nail gun and I angle it going this way, left and right, and what that does is it shoots a nail in this direction, a nail in this direction, and it actually locks it into the drywall and makes it so that your board won't come out. Here's another tip that you're gonna thank me for. Paint the grooves as you go. Do you hear me? If you don't, they are really hard to reach, and you're gonna say, Angela told me. Paint the grooves as you go. So once you've installed your wall, you're going to finish it up with caulk, wood filler, trim, just to pretty the whole thing up, and then paint it and you're done. And that's it. You've installed your shiplap. I'm sure it looks gorgeous. If this tutorial was helpful, I'll link a few different tutorials. I have tool tutorials and other projects down in the description below, so make sure to check it out.